You're just a lie. You're just a sickening lie. Cross. Everything you have done, and everything you have promised Ezio with your Brotherhood. Now tell me!
Where is the apple? 2010. Ah yes, a time where people still had iPods and didn't really know what a meme was. The worst AFL team won a premiership, people were listening to the albums of Taylor Swift, Drake and Gorillaz, and I almost died. And the games, Just Dance 2, COD Black Ops 1, Super Mario Galaxy 2, and now Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, where Ezio Auditore sets his next adventure in Rome.
So basically, the story recaps of what happens in the previous two games, AC1 and AC2, which is basically about the Apple of Eden and how it has been passed throughout the Assassins. And funnily enough, Desmond and his crew hibernate and escape the Abstergo Templars. And Desmond goes back into the Animus as Ezio, and this time Ezio has a little bit more experience and is pretty badass.
I like what the writers did with this, especially considering that it's a continuation of Ezio's story. Set in the 1500s, we get a flash forward of Ezio fighting Cesare. But then straight after AC2, after Ezio finds out the pieces are eaten, he comes back to the Villa Auditore Montegione, gets laid with Caterina. 10 minutes later, the villa gets destroyed as well as his uncle Mario. Ezio evacuates, wakes up in Rome, gets new gear, and talks to Machiavelli, who was briefly seen at the end of the second Assassin's Creed game. And apparently, there is a traitor in who has stolen the Apple of Eden, and you have to retrieve the Apple of Eden again.
Which can get pretty tedious if not a noob who's played Assassin's Creed before.
Ezio does this by creating his Brotherhood of Assassins and finding out who the suspect in the assassin cult is. I think this was a cool idea. However, the one problem that Brotherhood, or the title card of this game, the Brotherhood just doesn't give enough presence in the game to even get the name. I just wish it was more fleshed out in this story. Cesare becomes hungry for the apple and kills his father and his sister. Yikes. Ezio gets the apple quickly before Cesare and Ezio becomes powerful but not invincible, because when he uses the apple, which can allow Ezio to control people, but in doing that, it hurts himself. And as what every protagonist in pop culture would do, Ezio hides the apple in a futuristic cave. And we go back into the future with Desmond and his gang looking for the apple again, figuring out the code in which the apple is hidden in the Colosseum. Desmond and co go into the Colosseum. Desmond finds out the code. He goes in the futuristic temple and looks to gain the apple, gets it, and kills Lucy, who is known since Assassin's Creed 1. And I must say, it was an interesting story, but not as good as 1 or 2, because there was just a little bit of filler during the beginning, and Desmond killing Lucy while being possessed by the apple is one of the craziest endings. The graphical jump from AC2 to Brotherhood is great. With variety, the viewpoints are also different due to there being different Borgia towers for you to conquer in order to gain access to the viewpoints themselves. And yes, a few things do come back from AC2, such as notoriety sheets, gaining feathers and flags to achieve certain objectives, and riding a horse. But this time, because the devs expanded the areas, you can ride with a horse in the streets instead of being blocked by the guards or invisible walls blocking you from the entrance. And the amount of weapons you gain and use is crazy, as you can use every ranged weapon in existence. There's a virtual training mode as well, which basically challenges you to achieve the things such as doing assassinations, how to do combat, etc. You also get to recruit different assassins, which really adds a nice touch to the game and really helps create the distinction between previous titles. And for the different ways in defeating enemies, like kicking them.
When you can kick people in the nuts, you know? In the nuts.
And things like chain kills and using your assassins to help you defeating the Templars or being bombarded by them. And I think this expands the functions of the gameplay to a perfect extent. Characters. Desmond. With the death of Subject 16, the former Animus test subject before Desmond, Desmond is now on a path of being a modern assassin. But with the stakes of being on the run from Sergo, Desmond's character just feels unpredictable at this point. Like you don't know what he's gonna do next. The Animus crew. The Animus crew is basically the same as the last game. They got Desmond, from the Animus, and Desmond goes into the Animus, yada yada yada. They don't really have that much presence in the story as they did in AC2, which gives Ezio a little bit more leeway in his character development. However, the only time the Animus crew gives impact to the Brotherhood story is by the end of it. Ezio in the Brotherhood is buffer, equipped with the best weapons in Italy. He's more experienced and edgy.
This has got to be my favorite version of Ezio.
I mean, this guy has been through some shit, especially with half of his family being dead, and Ezio basically at this point, and it's so cool seeing him being a recurring character throughout this series as this Italian mercenary, fully fledged assassin. I mean, this game could have evolved the character a little more with a few more jumps to the time jumps, but that's fine. Cesare Borgia. Cesare Borgia is basically the son of the previous villain from AC2, who was Rodrigo Borgia. He's this whiny brat and has the cliches of a typical villain who wants to take over the world and gain power. I mean, it just doesn't do it for me. However, the way he dies, spoilers, is badass, and the confrontation between him and Ezio is just so cool.
Overall, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood is a solid entry to the franchise, not just because of Ezio's journey, but because of how the stakes have been risen higher and higher. The gameplay is also fun and entertaining, while being in the city of Rome is just riveting. The story can get a little bit tedious at times, but I still enjoyed the ending. 9 out of 10. Requies Scalpel Pace.
I'll take